Hey guys, today I want to do a little recap of the last video I did about 2996 and the Tiger Year. I'm going to show you some interesting synchronicities with that video, and then I'm going to cover another video that I did April 15th, 2020 about the two plane crashes that crashed into volcanoes and how they connected to the December 4th, 2021 eclipse we just had over Antarctica. Kind of some interesting synchronicity there as well. And I'm going to cover another interesting coincidence or synchronicity with this video by Dua Lipa that has to do with my Revelation 12 video. And then I'm going to go over another video that I left unlisted about Kyle Rittenhouse. I did this on November 16th, but I just left it in unlisted. But I want to show you some connections there with that video as well. And what I mean by synchronicity is just the idea that we live in a self-revealing system or a self-revealing world, where these synchronicities tend to show up when you start looking at all the numbers and the astrology and all these different themes. But just more the idea that there are more than coincidences, and this self-revealing system we live in seems to like to show you or guide you down a path with these different themes and ideas and numbers that you can follow. But here's an interesting synchronicity, I guess you could call it. We'll get to it here with this Bengals and Ravens game that I talked about that happened on December 26th. I showed you guys the Genesis 8:7 about the Raven, and then a little bit later in this video I talked about the connection to Revelation 8:11 with the 1377, and how the Super Bowl is going to be 13,077 days after Chernobyl, and Chernobyl's related to Revelation 8:11. But if we take a look at the Baltimore and Cincinnati Bengals game that happened on the 26th, you can see here the Ravens lost, so their record went to 8-7, which syncs up with the Genesis verse 8:7. And then also what's very interesting about this game is the time of possession for the Ravens was 22 minutes 57 seconds. And that's a really interesting number because 22 minutes 57 seconds just happens to be 1,377 seconds. So that synced up with the video I was talking about, kind of connecting all this stuff together here. Talked about the connection to the Baltimore Ravens being established on 2996 and their connection to 9/11, and the address of the Raven Stadium is 1101 Russell Street, and it was broke ground or opened 1101 days before 9/11, and that's the address. And then on 9/11, the South Tower observation platform on the South Tower is 1,377 feet. So just interesting that this Ravens Bengals game that I talked about ended up being 1,377 seconds of possession for the Ravens. Kind of interesting there. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about, and I'll do this one next year. I did this video back in April of 2020 about the December 4th, 2021 eclipse that was going to be over Antarctica. This eclipse right here And in that video, it was about the two plane crashes. The one that crashed into Mount Erebus volcano in Antarctica, and then another plane crash that crashed in El Salvador. Both flight numbers were 901. And what's interesting about that video that I did, here's the plane crash. Let's see if I have it on here. In that video, I showed you guys how, coincidentally, I guess I was just talking about this in the last video too, but MH370, if we take its flight from where it took off and we kind of follow the path where the debris was found for the flight, you can see it was flying towards this December 4th, 2021 eclipse. And then also here in Antarctica, I have this Aldebaran rock, which has to do with the right eye of Taurus. But on the other side of Antarctica here, we had the crash for New Zealand Flight 901 into this double volcano, Mount Erebus and Mount Terror. And coincidentally, also, there's a Pleiades volcano here. So Pleiades, located in Taurus. And then on the opposite side of Antarctica, we have Aldebaran rock, which has to do with Taurus. But something interesting about this video is that I used the azimuthal equidistant projection, or the flat Earth map, to map out the what I call the line of fire, what's kind of known as the ring of fire with all the volcanoes, the two plane crashes and the volcanoes here. You can kind of see when we stretch Antarctica out on the azimuthal equidistant or the flat Earth map. We have the eclipse over here on 12/4/2021, and then these previous two flights that crashed into volcanoes. But on this date of 12/4/2021, we had the eruption on Mount Semeru in the Indonesian island of Java on December 4th, 2021. And I just thought that was really, really interesting because I used this flat Earth map, and the flat Earth map is known for having the what is called Mount Meru in the center of the map. The name Semeru is derived from Meru, or Mount Meru, the central world mountain in Hinduism, or Sumeru, the abode of the gods. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting synchronicity with that video that I talked about, that eclipse. And we got a volcano eruption, and just happened to be on Mount Meru or Semeru, which has to do with the central world mountain in the Hindu and other religions. But I thought that was kind of interesting that we got that eruption on 12/4. And one more kind of synchronicity I want to show you guys is with this video by Dua Lipa called Love Again. Of course, the love has to do with the goddess Venus, and it has to do with going back and looking at my Revelation 12 video that I did on November 5th, 2019. Revelation 12, the woman of the apocalypse, and how that alignment started with a Venus transit of the sun, and then it was immediately followed by a total solar eclipse. And this was on actually the opposite side, what would be the opposite side of the Earth, where that eclipse I just talked about was in Antarctica. This would have been in the north in the Arctic. But that eclipse was on 6/4/1769 with this Revelation 12 sign. And this video, Love Again, right? Venus is the goddess of love. The Revelation 12 sign begins with a Venus transit, and it just happened to premiere on the anniversary of that eclipse, of that event, the transit and the eclipse. June 4th, 2021 just happened to be on that anniversary. 252nd anniversary. And then It's very interesting that they show the bull in this video, and they show the Hyades. That's exactly where the eclipse occurred, was in the Hyades, or in Taurus the bull. That's where the transit and the eclipse occurred, right in between the horns of the bull. And there's definitely another connection here if we go back and look. This video premiered on June 4th, 2021, and my video that I did about the Revelation 12 sign, 11/5/2019. You can see they're 577 days apart, and I showed you guys this before, but when we take 8/11 and we convert it to base 12, it's 577. It was 577 days after I did my video that this video came out. And if we take a look, I'll leave a link in the description here so you guys can watch the video, but one of the things in the video that they put in this video is a giant egg. And what's really interesting about this giant egg is that my video was 577 days before the release of this video. And if we look at egg in the Latin or Jewish cipher, egg is 577. And the most telling or interesting synchronicity, I guess you could call it, with this video is that it features a sample from Whitetown, Your Woman. And that's the song I used for my Revelation 12 video, was Whitetown, Your Woman. So when you listen to this video by Dua Lipa, they sample Whitetown. And then if you go to the actual video itself, Whitetown, Your Woman, the official YouTube video, was released on May 16th, 2006. That's my birthday, is May 16th. And then the artist was Jyoti Mishra. And if we look at the gematria of his name in the Latin or Jewish cipher here, it also sums to 1377. And it was actually Bobby Simpson that sent me this video and pointed this out to me, that this video came out on June 4th, 2021, and that they sampled the Whitetown, Your Woman, the same song that I used in my Revelation 12 video. But just some interesting synchronicities here. They show the egg, the 577, it was 577 days. They used the same song. And then they show the bull. They show the face of the bull, the Hyades, where the actual Revelation 12 sign occurred. And a whole bunch of other little clues in this video, but I would say it was kind of no doubt a tribute or a nod to the Revelation 12 sign. Especially when they used my song for the, or not my song, but the Whitetown, Your Woman song that I used in my video. And they sampled that in this song. But I'll leave a link for that. You guys can take a look at that video. And there it is, the eclipse, 6/4/1769. Revelation 12 sign, the Venus transit. And then we're coming up on a Venus pentagram point on January 9th, 2022. We'll have a Venus pentagram point here in 10 days. So that'll be interesting to see if we have any interesting events or news stories on this pentagram point day. I almost forgot to go through this Kyle Rittenhouse stuff here that I had for you guys. I'll leave a link to this unlisted video in the description. It's just about 1:15 long, but this whole Kyle Rittenhouse and Kenosha, Wisconsin stuff is kind of following a theme that I've been looking at here for quite a while. And what's interesting is Kyle was from Antioch, Illinois, and he went to the city of Kenosha. And it's kind of interesting, the city of Kenosha has this eye of providence or all-seeing eye seal for the city here. And the two themes I'm talking about here, I talked about before, but they're, if you look at Kenosha, Wisconsin, there's their seal, but their motto is charting a better course, and that's like a maritime or sea term, right? Charting a better course has to do with water and navigation, and I've been talking a lot lately about Admiralty Maritime Law, and so of course charting a better course has to do with that. But the opposite, or the other type of thing I've been talking about, is the law of the land, or natural law. And if we look at Antioch, where Kyle was from, their village, or their logo, is authentic by nature. And that's the two, I guess you could say, the two opposing views that we have going on right now. And in this slide here I showed you, or I have on here, Orson Welles, who famously did the radio broadcast War of the Worlds, is from Kenosha, Wisconsin. And that's kind of the two worlds that we have kind of going on right now. The natural world, or natural law, and then the maritime law. Those two things are kind of almost diametrically opposed, but those are the two things I've been talking about a lot lately, is law of the land, law of the sea, natural law versus this commercial law. But it kind of manifested itself here in this Kyle Rittenhouse shooting and trial, and where he's from, and all this stuff, and kind of connected to the War of the Worlds. I did a separate video a long time ago about War of the Worlds, and those two worlds in this instance are nature and the maritime law. So, okay, guys, just want to show you all the stuff with the Bengals and the Ravens, and the past videos that kind of had some interesting synchronicities, and that eclipse. Okay, guys, thanks for watching.